what if I told you that right now, at this very moment, something from another star system just flew past Mars? And no, this isn't science fiction. This is real. This actually happened just weeks ago. An ancient visitor from the depths of interstellar space came closer to Mars than most satellites orbiting Earth. Spacecraft captured it, telescopes tracked it, and what scientists discovered has left them absolutely stunned. This is the story of 3I/ATLAS, the oldest cosmic wanderer we've ever encountered, and what it did when it came face to face with the red planet. Before we dive deep into this incredible story, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what's traveling between the stars right now? Objects that have been drifting through the darkness of space for literally billions of years? Well, on July 1st, 2025, astronomers in Chile spotted something extraordinary. A telescope called ATLAS, which normally hunts for dangerous asteroids, picked up a faint fuzzy dot moving through space. But this wasn't just any comet. Within days, scientists realized they had discovered something truly special. This object, officially named 3I/ATLAS, was traveling at a mind-blowing 130,000 miles per hour. But here's the kicker. It wasn't orbiting our sun. It was just passing through. Like a traveler on a cosmic highway, it came from somewhere out there, beyond our solar system, from a place we can barely imagine. And just a few months after its discovery, on October 3rd, 2025, this ancient wanderer came within 18.6 million miles of Mars. Now, you might be thinking, that's still pretty far, right? But in space terms, that's incredibly close. That's closer than many of the planets get to each other. So what happened during this cosmic encounter? Let's find out. First, let's talk about what makes 3I/ATLAS so incredibly special. The 3 I's in its name tells us everything. The I stands for interstellar, meaning it comes from outside our solar system. The 3 means it's only the third interstellar object we've ever confirmed visiting us. Think about that for a second. In all of human history, with all our advanced telescopes and technology, we've only spotted 3 confirmed visitors from another star system. The first was Oumuamua in 2017, which sparked massive debate about whether it could be artificial. The second was Comet 2I/Borisov in 2019. And now we have 3I/ATLAS. But here's where it gets absolutely mind-blowing. Based on calculations of its speed and trajectory, scientists believe 3I/ATLAS could be around 7 to 8 billion years old. That means this comet is nearly twice as old as our entire solar system. When this frozen chunk of ice and rock first formed around some distant star, our sun didn't even exist yet. Earth was still billions of years away from forming. Now, what does this ancient traveler look like? According to NASA's Hubble Space Telescope observations, the solid core of 3I/ATLAS is surprisingly small. Scientists estimate it's somewhere between 1,050 feet and 3.5 miles across. That might not sound like much, but remember, this tiny cosmic snowball has been drifting through the galaxy for billions of years. When the James Webb Space Telescope, the most powerful space telescope ever built, turned its incredible instruments toward 3I/ATLAS, it made some fascinating discoveries. The comet is wrapped in a fog of carbon dioxide gas. It's also releasing water vapor, carbon monoxide, and even cyanide gas. But don't worry, we're perfectly safe here on Earth. The Hubble Space Telescope captured something beautiful too. It showed 3I/ATLAS has a teardrop-shaped cocoon of dust trailing behind it. This happens because as the comet gets closer to the sun's heat starts warming it up, causing ice to turn into gas. This gas then lifts dust off the comet's surface, creating that gorgeous glowing cloud we call a coma. Now let's talk about the incredible journey of 3I/ATLAS through our solar system, and what led to its historic encounter with Mars. When astronomers first discovered 3I/ATLAS in July 2025, they immediately started calculating its path. And what they found was extraordinary. This cosmic visitor was going to pass remarkably close to several planets in our solar system, giving us a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to study it. But the absolute best opportunity? That would be Mars. As 3I/ATLAS zoomed toward the inner solar system at 130,000 miles per hour, scientists around the world scrambled to point every available telescope at it. Ground-based observatories captured images. The Hubble Space Telescope tracked it. The James Webb Space Telescope analyzed its composition. Even weather satellites tried to spot it. The comet was heading for its closest approach to the Sun, called perihelion, which would occur on October 30th, 2025. But before that could happen, it had a date with the red planet. October 3rd, 2025. Mark this date in history because this was when 3I/ATLAS made its closest approach to Mars, coming within just 18.6 million miles of the planet. Now, I know what you're thinking. 18.6 million miles still sounds like a lot, and you're right. But in cosmic terms, this is remarkably close. To put this in perspective, this distance is about 20% of the distance between Earth and the Sun. When planets pass each other in their orbits, they're usually much farther apart than this. This was a genuinely close encounter. And here's the really cool part. We had a spacecraft there to witness it. The European Space Agency operates 2 missions around Mars, the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter and Mars Express. Between October 1st and 7th, 2025, these robotic sentinels turned their cameras away from their usual job of studying Mars and instead pointed them at this interstellar visitor streaking past. But there was a problem. These spacecraft cameras were designed to photograph the bright surface of Mars from just hundreds or thousands of miles away. They were not designed to photograph a dim object that was tens of millions of miles away. In fact, 3I/ATLAS was approximately 10,000 to 100,000 times fainter than what these cameras normally look at. Despite the enormous challenges, the ExoMars Trace Gas Orbiter managed to capture history. On October 3rd, 2025, as 3I/ATLAS made its closest approach to Mars, the spacecraft's camera system called CASSIS snapped a series of images. And when scientists received those images back on Earth, they were looking at something no human had ever seen before. The images show a slightly fuzzy white dot moving against the backdrop of space with streaked stars in the background. That white dot is the center of the comet, its icy nucleus surrounded by the glowing coma of gas and dust. Now, you might look at these images and think, that's it? Just a white dot? But let me tell you why these images are absolutely extraordinary. First, this is the view of an interstellar object from another planet. We're literally looking at a visitor from another star system as seen from Mars. Think about that. This comet traveled for billions of years through the void of space, and we managed to photograph it from a spacecraft orbiting another world. Second, the fact that these images exist at all is a minor miracle. Remember, these cameras were never designed for this task. The engineers had to use 5-second exposures 5 times longer than normal just to capture enough light. The comet was so faint it was like trying to photograph a cell phone on the moon from Earth. Third, while the images might not look like much to us, they contain valuable scientific data. Scientists can measure the size and brightness of the coma, track the comet's movement with incredible precision, and learn about how it's changing as it approaches the Sun. The coma visible in these images measures several thousand kilometers across. That's a cloud of gas and dust bigger than the entire United States, and it's all coming from that tiny nucleus at the center, possibly less than a mile wide. Unfortunately, Mars Express, the other European spacecraft, had an even tougher time. Its camera could only take half-second exposures, which wasn't enough to clearly capture the faint comet. Scientists are still analyzing its data, combining multiple images together to see if they can spot 3I/ATLAS hidden in the noise. But here's something really interesting that was reported. NASA's Perseverance rover, which is down on the surface of Mars, captured an image on October 5th that showed a streak of light in the sky. Some people speculated this might have been 3I/ATLAS, visible from the Martian surface. However, due to some timing issues with data sharing, this hasn't been officially confirmed. But imagine that, an interstellar comet possibly visible from the surface of another planet. So, what did 3I/ATLAS actually do to Mars? Did it affect the planet in any way? The short answer is probably not directly. The comet passed at a safe distance, and it's far too small to have any gravitational effect on Mars. But the encounter gave scientists an invaluable opportunity to study this ancient visitor in incredible detail. Here's what makes this encounter so scientifically valuable. As 3I/ATLAS got closer to the Sun, it became more active. The Sun's heat caused more ice to vaporize, releasing more gas and dust. This means the spacecraft at Mars got to observe the comet in a relatively active state, revealing more about its composition. The various observations from different telescopes and spacecraft have taught us some fascinating things about 3I/ATLAS. The James Webb Space Telescope discovered that the comet is unusually rich in carbon dioxide. In fact, it's wrapped in what scientists call a carbon dioxide fog. This is really interesting because it tells us about the conditions in the star system where this comet formed. Billions of years ago, the comet is also releasing cyanide gas, specifically hydrogen cyanide. Now, before you worry, this is actually completely normal for comets. Many comets in our solar system also release cyanide. On September 14th, scientists measured that 3I/ATLAS was producing about 2 kilograms of hydrogen cyanide every second. That's like pouring out 2 large bottles of water every second, but as gas instead of liquid. Interestingly, the cyanide cloud around the comet measured about 180,000 kilometers across. That's nearly half the distance from Earth to the Moon. And this cloud wasn't perfectly round. It was stretched out in the direction away from the Sun, which is exactly what we'd expect as the Sun pushes on the gas. Observations from the Very Large Telescope in Chile also detected atomic nickel vapor coming from the comet. This is fascinating because nickel has been found in other comets too, but scientists still don't fully understand why it's there. All of these observations are helping scientists understand not just 3I/ATLAS itself, but also the star system where it came from. What was that distant sun like? What conditions existed in that alien solar system billions of years ago? 3I/ATLAS is like a time capsule, carrying information from a place and time we can barely comprehend. The story of 3I/ATLAS didn't end with its Mars encounter. After saying goodbye to the red planet, the comet continued on its path toward the Sun. On October 30th, 2025, 3I/ATLAS reached perihelion, its closest point to the Sun. At this moment, it was about 126 million miles from our star, which is actually pretty far out. That's the distance between Earth and Mars orbits. This means 3I/ATLAS never got roasted like some comets do when they dive close to the Sun. During this time, the comet was hidden from view for ground-based telescopes on Earth because it was behind the Sun from our perspective. But space-based observatories like SOHO and the Punch mission kept watching it. After perihelion, 3I/ATLAS began its journey outward. And here's where things get even more interesting. The comet's path will take it past several other destinations in our solar system. On November 3rd, 2025, it passed within 60 million miles of Venus. That's much farther than its Mars encounter, but still significant. Then, on December 19th, 2025, 3I/ATLAS will make its closest approach to Earth. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. And make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We'll be following the latest space discoveries and bringing you more incredible stories about our universe.